across the road now, Uncle John and who?
Uncle John, yeah. And Jane Harley.
And that was your mother's
Sister.
sister's husband,
Yeah.
was John Harley.
Yeah.
Okay. And they had 160 in here,
Yeah.
you say.
Yeah.
So your mother had two sisters, two brothers and a sister here.
Yeah.
So John Harley was here, and your mother's sister's name would have been what then? John Harley's wife?
Jane.
Okay. And then the two brothers were?
Uncle Andrew and Uncle Nels.
And Uncle Nels stayed with Uncle Andrew.
Yeah.
Was not married.
Yeah.
Never married. Okay.
Where we first came down was Myrick. He was a town chairman for a while. He was a real well-educated fellow. He moved into Spooner later. And that Myrick, they named that lake after him then. And SRH's Johnson, they named this lake after Johnson.
Why do they call him SRH?
I don't know, alphabet. He had about 3 middle names. Rudolph was, they called him too. I know his wife used to call him Rudolph.
And he was a neighbor of your folks?
Well, yeah, they were well acquainted. He was from Sweden too, and my dad was from Sweden. And he was a tailor. He could do most anything. He was a tailor, blacksmith, carpenter, you name it. A good cook. I remember after my mother died, and my dad, SRH was always well dressed. He'd come over to the farm different times, and my dad thought, well, I took him over here, and my dad said, well, he's a good cook, clean and everything. He could come over there and stay with him, and my dad would furnish everything. All he'd have to do was cook. So we took him over here where his shack was, or his building. And the mice were running all over there in the house there, and Dad, no, I can't stand that.
That ended that idea.
Ended that, yeah.
What are you looking at?
Now look at these corners here. These are squared off corners. And the Swedes, they dovetailed kind of room kind of corner ways, so they couldn't give away one way or the other. Never nailed it. They never put a nail in there. Here they've nailed these here. They just squared them off. This must have been, they moved this in somewhere.
What about between the logs?
Well, that, you got cement here, but years ago they used lime and sand. That'd stick in there quite a while too. That's all they used years ago was lime instead of cement. Now this must be a real hunting show.
Right there, huh?
That's pretty good. Now here's this root cellar here, and here's the log here, corner. Can you get it here?
Yeah. And he'd walk in over on this side here?
Yeah, right where you're standing, you walked in there. Now here's some of the fruit jars.
You're kidding.
Yep.
They pieces or what?
Huh?
Pieces or what?
Yeah, the fruit jars.
It's not full, is it though? I mean, complete or is it
No.
broken?
They're just empty.
Yeah, but I mean, are they complete?
Yeah, all together.
Yeah, I'll save one of those.
All right. You want a little one or a big one?
One of each. His well was right behind there?
Yeah, well, it's right there. And here's the old spruce trees right here where I can remember them plain as it was yesterday.
I'll back up and get a picture of those. Just going down in there.
I think this goes down to the barn and the blacksmith shop.
All right.
I think this is it. That was a great big barn he had here. Right off here to the right there, we had the blacksmith shop. Mother and I came over here one time and he had a trap set with a square box with a figure 4. Had it baited, and the rabbit would pull that stake down and it'd come and hold the rabbit. We heard the rabbit squeal and he ran out and he says, "Oh, here's my breakfast." And here, the people, the boy's name was Dave, Cy, Elliot, Edwin, Carter. Carter was the youngest. Then the girl, I forgot her name.
Where did they move when they left Webb Lake?
They went down to Turtle Lake.
Okay. Of Johnson Lake?
Yeah, south end of it.
And what's the trail we're on here?
What's that?
What's trail are we on?
Well, this used to be the main road for them going into Danbury and the neighbors. And here were the CC's planted trees right in here. They're all nice and straight and big.
This would have been in the early 1930s?
Yeah. George Schaff and George and Fred logged this whole thing off, 106 acres. For SRH. And all the town roads is that way. Ruts probably about 8 inches deep. There's quite a hill here going down.
Do you have trouble getting up those with
Yeah,
the...
a lot of time we had to have a shovel in the Model T and get out and push, shovel the sand out.
How did they try to maintain them?
Well, all they done was just went down, shovel out the sand at the bottom of the road. The next rainstorm would come, it'd be the same thing again, they'd shovel it out again. That's why they kept the roads up.
Kept some people employed maybe.
Yeah, that's about it.
What about the blacktop you proposed?
Well, we graded filled up had the grader county come in with the grader and just graded up the sod, shoved it all up in the middle, got that wore down pretty good, and then we took and blacktop. And we got the road in pretty good shape.
That was the start of a new era, huh?
Yeah. Droppings there.
Okay,
Here's a little fawn track there.
okay.
Bits of thing. Yeah. We used to wash from the top of the washer all the way straight down to the bottom of the hill. Then we had the county come in and grade it up, fill up those ditches. Made a pretty good road that way. Took all that sod and put it in the middle. Yeah.
Is there?
Yeah.